Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Makura. I am a legal specialist at Eltoma Corporate Services. It is my pleasure to attend this event today, covering increasing UC, the secrets behind KPI's lifestyle. Please take a note that there is an opportunity to ask questions, and I will deliver the responses after the presentation personally or at the end of the presentation. Okay, so let's start with critical points question. How many times have you and your partners questioned your actions? If I'd have known this before, I would have done something differently. How can I improve my company's performance? How can I understand how well my business is doing? Counting information. Or even how can I effectively reduce risk profit? The answer is if you plan well and have a clear image of your company, then you can perform well and eliminate your mistakes. There are many cases of companies who had no accounting problem had a huge turnover, and that result to spend time and money resulted to profit loss and time wasted. There are a lot of examples where organizations faced turnover when sales were high and the company had a good profit profile. Also, this is among the scopes of this webinar to prove components have to be focused, measured, and analyzed in order to lead a company to its success and avoiding serious mistake and turnover. Those are only some of many questions and points that are involved in the daily life of an organization and which can actually be covered and answered using the KPI. Let's see example for KPIs that are the same, but they differ on the business type. An organization that has as one of its goals to be the most profitable company in our industry will have key performance indicators that measure profit and related fiscal measures. Pre-tax profit and shareholder equity will be among them. However, percent of profit contributed to company causes probably will not be one of its key performance indicators. On the other hand, the school is not concerned with making a profit, so its key performance indicators will be different. For example, KPI definition and key performance indicators like performance measurement, outcome of the company's strategic objectives, which demonstrate how well the company achieved them. Measures used to gauge or compare performance in a company, business metrics used to evaluate factors that are crucial to evaluate the success of an organization and how successfully the company reached its target, applied business intelligence to gauge business trends and advise the tactical courses of action. Two main types of KPI, high and high level focused on the company overall performance, and well, it's focused on the processes of the company departments. And a little note that KPI differ for each organization. And as you can see on the slide, the first one is company goal, company strategy, company hierarchy, processes, company activities, company data, and influential factors like data processing, all processes, availability infrastructure activities, availability of the services infrastructure. A performance indicator may change as the organizational goals change or as it gets closer to achieving a goal. Help an organization. So the role of the KPI are the following: to help an organization access progress towards stated goals, help the management and improvement of the company's performance, assisting in the planning and monitoring of the company's progress process, support the company in predicting any turnover mistakes, or to identify any existing issues by discovering the cause and to make changes in order to fix the problem, help making operational decisions, and direct perform relation to the success dependent. They are a content understanding of what organizational decision have been monitored with operational decisions. It is essential that to give answer to some of the comparison. Let's see points. So KPI as forms of communication as they perform under communication rules which are similar to them. It is important to get KPI setting up process correct from the beginning and be able to follow up with the necessary process as if the first collected or incompletely the whole process will end up in a failure to work with the KPI system. KPI's forms of communication, as you can see, is KPI setup is import from the initial stage. It is necessary to follow the rules of the KPI setup and avoid copying KPIs from similar companies. Each company, this is the main rule, KPI. So let's start with measurable. So KPI can use proceed with calculations in order to provide some specific field KPI. In order to perform those measurements, and this is why the KPIs have to be measurable. Metrics are used in the measurements of the strategy in order to set, need to keep in mind that they can be achieved. This means that they have and easy to be maintained. Also, to be then it's better specific to the top. The rest adding times that is fast. So the web up to date is specific will be easy to keep that will be out of the show. It can be identified. The predefined must be a quantitative approach in enterprise. A clear Sales KPI opportunities perform map so row and tweak mount you going now will get yours ground uh, and set yours about hard to good on that as well story about how this link and align. Spend some time uncovering your competitive advantages based on an understanding of your strategic position. Your competitive advantages are the essence of your strategic plan because strategy is about being deliberately choosing to perform activities differently or to perform different activities that competitors to deliver value to your customer. So, strategic plan development, it's first of all you should use, then you should focus on how you will meet your company's objective and as a consequences address where your company is currently and where it is going. With regarding to short and long-term goals, long-term goal, it's intermediate objectives to the top of the mountain. If you have a 5-year vision, this would be 3 to 4 year intermediate objectives on the way to the top of the mountain. Short-term goals. It's specific tactics for climbing sections of rock and ice that confront you right now. This would be analogous to detailed annual plans for getting things completed this year on the way to this 3-year objective. For example, long term, it's create a fully customized, unique experience for visitors. Short term, it's start by monitoring the number of people who come from our partner side and see how they interact on our side in order to create a unique experience for subset groups of visitors. A short-term goal is something you want to do in the near future. The near future can mean today, this week, this month, or even this year. A short-term goal is something you want to accomplish soon. A short-term goal is a goal you can achieve in 12 months or less. Example like take a class, buy a new television, write a resume. A long-term goal, future, long-term, they are not something you can take separate from goal. I'm here. I will one of them here in one get to your right achieve your uh, goals
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you to our today's webinar, which refers to the key performance indicators with our topic on increasing your business efficiency and the secrets behind KPIs life cycle. My name is Elena Palakars and the used resources. KPIs are very sensitive, so they have to be really careful in the perspective of who is going to set them up and who is going to be daily entering the data for them. So we can see here that the key performance indicators, according to their competitive to perform as a management tool, they are directly referred to the managers. Although managers can be identified by the company's owners and also the company's directors, which can also be responsible for setting the KPIs up, and also to be able to control and update them on time with the correct measurements. Nevertheless, employees are not responsible to set their KPIs, but they can advise whether those set KPIs are reflecting their work and whether they are able to be measured and carried out as requested. Operation managers need to show that they are getting good KPIs and then managing them effectively. Staff members, employees need to make sure they have the correct KPIs as we said in order to be able to meet their targets. And it is also best to go through the company's goals and strategy with the responsible person in order to move on to the assessment of the company's departments or even personal KPIs, and then to relate more information to the rest of the managerial hierarchy. In order to have a successful result of measurement, we need to consider the objectives of the company, the targets that are set for each objective and KPIs, and finally, all the incentives behind each objective. Finding your specific measures. Once you have identified your key business drivers, you need to find the best way of measuring them. Again, your priority here should be to look for as close a link as possible with those elements of your performance that determine your success. For example, you may decide that customer service is a strategic priority for your business and to therefore start measuring this. But there are many ways of doing so. For example, you might consider measuring the proportion of sales accounted for by returning customers. You can consider measuring the number of customers' complaints received, the number of the items returned to you, the time that it takes to fulfill an order, and also the percentage of incoming calls answering within some limitation of time. None of this is necessarily better than any other. The challenge is to find which specific measures will enable you to improve your business. Some important measurements for a company are financial performance, customer measurement, employees measurement, and also against other business benchmarking. One second, please. Apologies. Here we'll see some types of KPIs. We have the financial KPIs, which helps estimating company's financial productivity. It can be the revenue, the net profit, margin profit, profitability, and liquidity. Non-financial can be the estimation of non-financial commercial productivity. You can have volume of sales, for example, competitiveness, client loyalty, and some more. Personal, you can You can describe it as the estimation of individual employee achievements and management, which depend on their individual effort and efficiency on their work. Team KPIs is the general productivity. The divisions of the groups depends only on joint efforts of the team as a whole. These indicators depend only on joint efforts of the team as a whole. Quantitative results of company activity division, the employee by the number in certain units of measure. Qualitative quality results of company activity, the division, the employee, on the basis of subjective characteristics. Transactional, which defines transactional productivity on the enterprise, can estimate sales volume, turnover of stock, increase in client base, operational expenses, loyalty of clients. Strategic can estimate the achievement of strategic company objectives, such as business cost, share of the markets, net profit, profitability, competitive advantage, and loyalty of clients as well. The basic KPIs reflecting to the productivity of economic activity need to be consist through the company. The financial results reflect the organization's ability to generate profit, and the company management's objectives belong to this section. Advanced KPIs give a unique opportunity to operate within the chosen period for the purpose of achieving the results. These indicators reflect the company's current status, department, or holding. They allow management to plan cash flows, financial results, the degree of client and partner loyalty, the quality of processes, and employee motivation. Productivity, achievements of the company, long-term and short-term objectives. These are useful by product effects, expense of resources, and the time allocated. Efficiency gives estimation of the desired effect in a radio. Absolute, measuring the received results in absolute expression without comparison, using results from the previous period. The relative, measuring the received expenses in the expression with the latest period's total values and average marketing data. Functional KPIs are referred to estimating the extent of regular performance enterprise functions, departments, and certain employees. And also we have the design KPIs, which is the indicators estimating the extent of project implementation. So let's move on to see some examples in some of the organizational sections. Here we have the supply chain, where we have the carrying cost of inventory, the inventory turnover, which turns the number of times a year's inventory is sold, the average days to turn inventory, for example, which describes the number of days it takes to sell all hand inventory, and we can use any mathematical equation in order to get our results. Another KPI can be the order tracking, which can be described by the order accuracy, the inventory turns, the cost of carry. Also, we have some others: units per transaction, rate of return, order status, inventory accuracy, bank order rates, perfect order rates. Those are just some of the examples which can be followed in order to make your manufacturing KPIs. Here we have some KPIs related to help desk. For example, we have the ticket analysis, which is a visualization of a breakdown for different types of tickets being submitted to your help desk. Ticket categories may include type, the priority level, assigned urgently, and ticket source. This analysis is designed to uncover trends behind tickets being submitted. For example, if a high number of tickets submitted are marked questions, it may indicate the need to write a frequently asked question for your customers. It is imperative for help desk agents to have real-time visibility of the ticket queue. Tickets in the queue should have an assigned priority and account for the ability for align the priorities and respond to urgent tickets in a timely manner. The ticket queue should also contain information such as the age of the ticket, the responsible agent, the type of the ticket, and its current status. The Agent Performance KPI measure the performance of help desk agents by tracking how they perform on key metrics such as call handle, first call resolution, and customer sentiment. This KPI is used to identify which help desk agents are performing well and which ones are performing poorly. This example incorporates principles of gamification. Gamification in the conduct of the help desk is used to track individual agent performance by using agents' points for tasks completed. For example, some gamification models will assign points to an agent for responding to a ticket in a certain amount of time or for getting a customer replies. We have some examples for retail businesses, which are the most important ones. We have the customer satisfaction, which reflects two metrics, measures the quality of the customer service, and provide a reflection of the public's perception of your business. It is important to remember that on average, happy customer will share their experience with 2 or 3 people, while unhappy customers will share their experience with much more people. Collecting this data can be done by describing forms at the point of purchase or by using your call center to conduct a formal survey. This is actually the way that you will collect the data for the specific KPI. The point of sale, or you can even call it point of purchase, measures where retail transactions are completed and compares each point over a given period. Retail organizations can measure this at a macro or micro level. For instance, comparing online with in-store purchase is an macro level, while micro level transactions may be specific checkout lanes in a store or a URL for an online retailer. This KPI is about figuring out where customers are making purchases, identifying trends, and investing resources where they will have the most impact. The KPI referring to the cost of goods sold can be measured the actual profit margin on products and services by analyzing how costs such as labor or shipping affect your profit margin. This KPI is instrumental in determining the markup percentage for products and can be a key component in a pricing war with your competition. It is important to remember that even if product is flying off the shelves, you still need to make profit on all of that product. The sale per square foot KPI measures how much sales revenue you're able to generate for each foot of retail space provided. and you can use some specific formula in order to track it. For example, you can put the total net sales divided with the total floor area in order to get the result for it. This is a popular retail sales KPI because it clearly demonstrates how effective your store layout and retail personnel are at selling products. As such, this KPI is important when redesigning or remodernizing retail outlets and will be the ultimate indicator of whether that redesign was successful or not. Many of the largest retailers will use a similar design concept of all of their stores and will go to create length to ensure uniformity in each location. Therefore, the sales per square foot KPI can also be used to identify when cultural differences are impacting sales and warrant future investigation. So we see that such KPI can be very good in order to plan for actions with accurate data and help you in order to make your goals to be achieved. Then Christmas sales KPI measures the amount of sales you gained as a direct result of marketing and promotional activities. Every retail uses promotions to generate interest and increase sales revenue, whether that's through social channels, direct mail, or even advertisements. By measuring success and reach of each campaign, you can determine which campaigns need to work and which ones you should invest more time and money on. And last, the customer retention KPI, which measures the ability of your organization to retain customers over the long term and to generate recurring revenue for existing customers. Generating revenue from loyal customers is considerably less expensive than acquiring new customers. We now see some examples of sales KPIs, which are reflecting to sales growth, with which where we can have metrics measures the pace at which the organization's sales revenue is increasing or even decreasing. It's also a key metric for an organization to monitor since it is an essential part of growth projections and it is instrumental in strategic decision making. Monitor this metric over multiple time periods in order to gain a clear indication of growth trends and normalize your values. This will help your account for monthly or quarterly spikes in revenue. Sales opportunities organizes prospects based on opportunity value and the probability of closing the sale. Each prospect has an estimated purchase value associated with them to help your team prioritize their efforts. Prospects are sorted according to the likelihood of a win stage and the value of a win estimated value. Each stage may have a weighted value associated with it to demonstrate the probability of making the sale. For example, a prospect rated as negotiated may have a weight value of 0.5 applied to their estimated purchases value. Therefore, a prospect with a negotiated stage and an estimated purchase value of 10,000 euro will have a weight value of 5,000 euro. Moving on to the product performance KPI can help rank product sales based on the revenue performance to inform your sales team which products are selling well At the same time, you should rank the poorest performing products to determine which products are failing to resonate with your customers. When monitoring this KPI, it's important to consider the specific context surrounding each product. For instance, is a center product receive a boost due to a viral market campaign? Or are you experiencing a slump because your competition is offering a similar product at a lower price? Those are some questions which can be answered through the data that can be collected through this KPI. The sales target KPI measures current sales and compares that value to target or past performance. This simple sales KPI taps into the competitive nature of sales teams by visualizing their performance in a tangled way. The key to this KPI is setting an appropriate sales target. Moving on to the quote close KPI. Measures the number of formal quotes sent out by your sales team compared to the number of deals that have been actually closed. To formalize a quote, send out a quote that can be documented and that even requires a signature or something other form of explicit acknowledgement. This KPI is used to help prioritize how much time your sales team spends on any given opportunity and to gain an understanding of your key conversion metrics. Some examples for marketing KPIs is the marketing return of investment, which measures how much revenue a marketing campaign is generating compared to the cost of running that campaign. We have the web traffic sources, which can measure which traffic sources are driving visitors to your website and provides a comparison of each of those sources. The three main traffic sources are direct, referral, and search, although your website may also have traffic from campaigns such as banner ads or paid search. In addition to measuring the number of visitors for each traffic source, consider analyzing the number of goal competition for each source. The lead scoring KPI is the process of measuring the quality of marketing and sales leads based on predetermined criteria and targets. These criteria and targets can range from demographic to buyer behavior and user activity, and they are typically determined by evaluating the characteristics of a current customer base. The email marketing engagement scope metric measures how effective your campaigns are at engaging your audience by tracking key metrics like open and click rates. Each of these metrics represent a different type of engagement, which will help you access the performance of your campaign. Open rates are linked to subject line performance, the credibility of the sender, and the time the campaign was sent. Click rates, on the other hand, are indicative of how well the component resonates with the audience and the relevance of the messages. Here, we have concluded what KPIs are, what is the basic rule that has to be followed in order to create your company's KPIs, as well as we have seen some examples. Basically, through all the discussion that we had, you can assume that there is a lot of time required in order to set your company's KPIs. But as long as you set up these KPIs, your company will start performing much better. You will have much more efficient results and effective results,